Hey everyone, we have some really exciting news. And no, I'm not talking about the recent rocket launch to space. I have something almost as exciting, and that is checking and banking accounts. Wow, I am tremendously lame. But really, I find this absolutely fascinating that people pay for things that they could otherwise get for free with much better perks and interest rates. I'm going to be breaking down my favorite 3 bank accounts in this video and telling you why you should get any one of them on this list. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my favorite bank account, which has free ATM access. I'm going to be talking about a bank account with a 4% interest rate, and I'm going to be talking about a bank account with a sign-up bonus of $2,000. Yes, I'm serious. That is actually real. My name is Kevin Conway. I make personal finance videos, so if you like investing, real estate, stock market, or really anything having to do with money, subscribe to the channel and give a quick like to this video if it helped you out in any way. Now, let's get right into it. If you guys have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. So here's a simple fact of the matter. You probably have had Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, or Citibank as your primary bank at one time or another in your life. You may even have them right now, but I'm here to tell you that there are way better banks out there that you could get. And why? Because Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, and those other banks will charge you up to $100 annually just to have an account there, and they're going to pay you near zero in interest, and they're not going to give you any cool perks, cashback, or anything else like that. Now, before I give you my top 3 banks, let me tell you how I came up with these 3. Normally, I rank interest rate among the highest factors in evaluating banks, but things have changed dramatically since I last released my bank account review videos back in January. That's because the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates to near 0%. So by and large, all banks are going to be paying very little in interest, and there's not going to be a lot of differentiation between the banks. So while I still care about interest, I also prioritize sign-up bonuses that you can get with these banks or other perks such as cashback at certain retailers and free global ATM access. And in order to be on this list, all of these banks must be FDIC insured. That is, your deposits are safe because they are backed by the federal government up to the limit of $250,000 or sometimes more. These banks must also be free to own, no account maintenance fees at all, and the rewards program must be simple to understand. You must not have to jump through a million different hoops in order to get the perks that I'm going to list. And really, any one of these banks is going to be good. It just depends on your preference. And frankly, there's a lot of really good banks out there, a lot of good online banks, and there's some weird ones too, like Redneck Bank, but we're not going to be talking about that one here. So with that, let's get right into it. First off, my favorite bank to go to, the simplest one to understand for my day-to-day finances, is called SoFi Money. SoFi Money is a checking and savings hybrid account. That means you could use this account to pay bills, to do normal transactions, to take cash out, and to do your regular banking. SoFi Money is an online account, so there are no physical branches anywhere, but you can withdraw cash for free at any ATM that accepts MasterCard. You'll also earn a 0.2% interest rate on this account, which admittedly isn't great, but again, that's because the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates to near 0%. And the reason why they are paying close to 0% is because the Fed is also paying close to 0%. But by and large, this account, SoFi Money, will go up and down with whatever the Fed does. For example, when I first got this account, the Federal Reserve interest rates were much higher, and I was actually earning 2.25% on all of my money with no limit at all in my SoFi Money account. I fully expect that when the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, you're going to see SoFi Money's interest rates raise as well. Additionally, there are no foreign transaction fees on this account, so if you're using your debit card elsewhere, you don't have to worry about incurring foreign transaction fees. SoFi Money also comes with a sign-up bonus of $75 just for signing up and doing the criteria in order to meet it. And as of right now, you have to make 2 direct deposits of at least $500 or more and use somebody's sign-up link in order to get that $75 bonus. Now, I have my link in the description. You could use it, but you do not need to. Just be sure to use somebody's sign-up link somewhere online or go directly to the site if that works as well to get that $75 bonus. SoFi Money also has some good spending and tracking tools. If you're going to be using your debit card on your day-to-day transactions, you'll actually be able to see with precision where your money is going, and that tool is actually pretty helpful. Some other good perks of SoFi Money include the fact that you can actually get from now until the end of June 20% cash back on all DoorDash and Netflix purchases. And seeing as how everybody is basically forced to be a couch potato right now, that's probably going to come in handy. SoFi Money is also part of SoFi more broadly, and you're able to take advantage of some of the great perks of being a SoFi member. One of my favorites is actually the ability to talk with a real financial advisor for free. So you can talk to them about things related to your SoFi Money account, or it could be about other things such as planning to buy a house, questions about mortgages, or really any of those matters. You're able to do so for free. This is a great perk because financial advisors are actually pretty expensive, and to have this included for free, I think, is one of the things that separates SoFi Money. I would say the biggest downside to SoFi Money is the fact that you can't really deposit cash directly with SoFi. You must deposit it at another bank account and then transfer the money in, but you are able to do mobile check deposit and do really quick instant transfers, whether it's between your account and another account that you own, or between you and a friend. You can do peer-to-peer transfers as well. So if you're okay with an online bank presence, then I would highly recommend SoFi. I personally have had SoFi for quite a while now, and I've had no issues with it whatsoever. It's been very clean, the platform's very easy to use, and I thoroughly enjoy using SoFi. Now, if you want to earn a little bit more interest on money that you're going to be keeping around for an emergency, I'd recommend pairing SoFi Money with an account like Ally Bank or Capital One, both of which are free and both of which offer an interest rate right now of about 1.25%, which is very good, and it can certainly be a beneficial thing to have if you want to keep your money in an emergency fund basis. SoFi Money is best for your day-to-day transactions. It's very similar to a checking account, but a little bit more flexible. And of course, when interest rates rise, you're going to see the interest rate on that account rise as well. So it could be an all-in-one hybrid account. All right, so next up on this list is a bank that isn't really a bank after all. It is T-Mobile. Yes, the cell phone company. They actually have something called T-Mobile Money, and it frankly is a very, very good account, especially if you're looking for a very simple checking account to earn a high interest rate on. T-Mobile Money, while it's limited to only T-Mobile customers, offers 4% on all balances up to $3,000. So this is going to be your everyday sort of checking account, and you're going to be earning 4% on all of that money, and everything above that is going to earn 1%. T-Mobile Money also has free ATM access at any Allpoint ATM, and there's something like 50 or 60,000 Allpoint ATMs. Basically, you could find them anywhere, whether it's Target or your local grocery store or a liquor store or any of those sorts of things. You can access cash and you can withdraw cash from T-Mobile. The biggest downside with T-Mobile Money is it's a pretty simple pared down account. There's really not much else to talk about other than the fact that you earn 4% up to $3,000 and you get free ATM access. But you can't deposit cash directly with T-Mobile Money. There are no physical branches anywhere, and the T-Mobile stores don't count as physical branches. You must deposit your money at another bank and then transfer it over into T-Mobile. If you do want to have an account that you can actually deposit cash with that earns a very good interest rate, again, I would recommend Capital One. They have physical branches in big cities, and they also have those Capital One cafes. If you want to know more about Capital One, I have an in-depth review, which I'll link to this video, which I'd recommend checking out. But simply put, T-Mobile Money has an interest rate, which is really on top of any other interest rate that I've seen right now in any other bank at 4%. I'd say this bank account is best if, number one, you're already a T-Mobile account customer, and number two, you want a simple checking account that you can earn a really good interest rate on to pay your everyday bills. But if you need an online savings account to put the rest of your money in, I would recommend pairing it with Capital One or Ally Bank. All right, moving on to the very last bank account. This actually is from Chase Bank. Now, I know what you're thinking. I just talked in the beginning of the video about how Chase Bank was one of those banks that's gonna rip you off, nickel and dime you, not pay you any interest. And by and large, that's pretty true, but rules kind of don't apply the same way if you have a lot of assets. Here's what I mean. Right now, through mid-August, Chase Bank will actually offer customers who sign up to be a Chase private client $2,000 as a sign-up bonus just for transferring $250,000 of either money or securities into Chase Bank. Now, that's kind of the key point because their checking and savings account interest rates are frankly terrible. They're basically 0%. So if you're going to take advantage of this, I would recommend transferring securities. So your regular index fund ETFs or stocks that you hold into Chase Bank to just simply hold them there. It's going to be no skin off your back whatsoever, whether it's being held at one brokerage or another, and you're going to get $2,000 just for transferring that money and leaving it there for 90 days. You're also going to get some really interesting perks, and I'll list them right here. Chase Private Client allows you to have any Chase Bank account linked to your Chase Private Client account for free. You're not going to have any account maintenance fees. You're not going to have any ATM withdrawal fees. You're not going to have any wire transfer fees. Basically, you're going to get all of those things all in one for free, whether you need a cashier's check or a regular check. All of those perks are going to be rolled up for free. Private client customers can also get 1/8 of a point or 1/4 of a point off of any mortgage they get originated through Chase Bank. This can be especially helpful if you're trying to compete for the very best mortgage rate and you get a bank like Chase Bank to give you a quote with that reduced rate, and then you compete it with another online lender or something like that to get the very best interest rate and then pair them off one another. That's where it really comes in handy. So if you're going to get a home and you have those assets and you could transfer them into Chase, it could actually work out to save you a ton of money. One of the coolest things of Chase Private Client is actually something called the Arts and Cultures card. You get this just for being a private client, and it allows you to get free admission or reduced admission at basically all of the major museums and attractions in the major cities in the country. For example, in New York City, you can be admitted, you and a guest, to the Natural History Museum for free. And in San Francisco, you can go to the Museum of Modern Art for free as well. And this is obviously not an exhaustive list. There's a million different avenues that you can take advantage of by using the Arts and Cultures card, but it definitely is a nice perk. They can save you 20, 40, 50 bucks here and there. You also get direct access to a banker at Chase Bank that's gonna know your financial situation, that can help you plan for things in the future. But this is kind of one of those perks that I feel a lot of people don't really take advantage of, and rightly so. You probably don't really need it, but it may be a nice thing to have. Again, SoFi Money has that for free. You don't have to have $250,000 to do it, but it is a perk that you get with Chase Private Client. Basically, Chase Private Client is like airline elite status for banks, and it has a few perks to it. It's by and large not great on its own, but that $2,000 bonus just for transferring money over there and leaving it for 90 days can be a really nice perk to have. So those are the 3 banks I think are the most interesting out there right now, but I want to go into just a few more that are pretty popular online that people have opinions of. I just want to touch on them very briefly. First off, Ally Bank. I mentioned it earlier in the video, and it's a bank account I actually currently have. It's very simple. It is a savings account that I leave my money in to get a very good interest rate. Right now it's about 1.25%. It's a free account to have, and I like it because I could always pick up the phone and talk to a real person at Ally Bank. I've had this account for quite a while, like 5 or 6 years. I've had no issues with it whatsoever, but it's not really that great other than the interest rate. It doesn't have any outstanding perks. It doesn't have all of the things that SoFi Money has, or even T-Mobile Money or Chase Private Client really has. But if you pair Ally Bank with one of those other banks to get that really good interest rate, it could be a pretty nice way to earn a little bit extra money. One last bank account that gets talked about a lot is Charles Schwab. Now, I have no issues with Charles Schwab. I actually have a Charles Schwab investment account, but the checking account is actually not as good today as maybe it was comparatively in the past. And the reason is because although it is free to have and you get a little bit of interest and it reimburses your ATM fees, all of those things are great. It doesn't have any extra perks, and there's no sign-up bonus to get Charles Schwab checking. And you must have a Charles Schwab brokerage account in order to get the Charles Schwab checking. There's nothing really wrong with Charles Schwab checking, but there are better banks out there. Charles Schwab is definitely much better than the standard brick and mortars of Bank of America and Wells Fargo, but it's probably not the best account to get if you're looking to get 1 or 2 solid bank accounts. So that's about all. If I missed anything or you have any questions whatsoever, be sure to leave it in the comments below. Let me know what bank account that you have and whether or not you're satisfied with it, or if there's an account that I missed. Please let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you out in any way, I'd appreciate you just giving it a simple like and subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. I'll see you next time. Thanks.